slept well last night. I want to read through for you from Lamentations 3:22 verse to 23, verses 22 to 23. And I want you to know that Lamentations is meant to lament, to cry out, to moan, to mourn, a very sorrowful book. And the whole of Lamentations is this like, oh, and they're crying out and they're lamenting and their lives aren't good, or they're crying for their children, or they're crying for their homeland and that kind of things. And I just so remember Lamentations is like this time of desperation almost. And then there's this verse in Lamentations. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed. It is because of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. I'm going to read it again. Lamentations 3:22 to 23. It is because of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. There's an old English hymn that goes, great is thy faithfulness. Now my voice is gone. But it's just a beautiful old hymn, and it comes from this verse, and it just tells you. But the knowledge of God's mercy and his faithfulness comes from a place of incredible sorrow. It's like a whole book full of lamentations. And within that sadness, within that place of desperation and nothing, they can still recognize God's faithfulness. It's almost like this verse is like a light in a sea of absolute sorrow and darkness. And as you lament, you remember how much God has given you, and how much he has loved you, and how much he wants you, and how much he has chosen you, and the fact that he made you for himself. That is God's intention around our relationship with him. And even in their worst of times, the people of God can know that God's faith is great, and his mercies will last forever. His mercies, they say here, are new every morning. It says there, it is because of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed by their sorrow and their fear, because his compassions fail not. He's always there with a compassionate heart. They are new every morning. And that can be like a metaphor for when your sorrow is over, when your period of mourning is over, then you wake up from that period of mourning, M-O-U-R-N, and you wake up to a new brightness of God. But at the end of every day, if you've had a rough day and they are there, you can go to sleep in the knowledge. So sometimes I've had such a rough day, and it's not just been busy, because it's different. When you're busy and you're fruitful, you are tired. It's been a tiring day, but good. But sometimes there's a rough day and everything seems to go against you. The cat had kittens under your pillow, and all kinds of weird things. The car broke down, and you're like, Lord, rough day. But tonight I can lay my head on the pillow, and tomorrow is a new day for me to make a new history. Great is thy faithfulness. Can you say that every night before you go to bed? I'm going to try. From now on, I'm going to put my head down on the pillow and go, great is thy faithfulness. Try it. Let me know what happens. And we'll speak again tomorrow.